cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya. Nah, enough of that. But today, as you can see, we making some jerk chicken, but not just any jerk chicken. We making jerk chicken wings, y'all.
Bomber clap.
And this is a great meal to make if you're having a party or a get together or anything like that. Oh, first we're gonna start by cutting the wings in two. You gotta cut it right along this joint so you get that clean cut. So just watch me. Cut it right there. You're gonna get a clean cut so you can get flats and drums. Because when you go to a party, you don't want a whole wing. I hate when people make wings and they make it a whole wing. Cut your wings, make it a drum and a flat. It's way better that way. Cut the tips off your flats, okay? Some people like to cook it with the tips on. It's not me. I'm not the one. So I cut my tips off, okay? And you're just going to throw that wing into there, that tip over there, okay? Now, if you decide to keep the tips, make sure you cut off those right there. Those right there is what the feathers used to be on. That's nasty. I be eating wings from restaurants, and they don't be cleaning their chicken, bro, because I be seeing the feathers in that meat, bro. If you keep the tips, if you keep your wings whole, because you can't be bothered to cut them apart, please, by the love of God, cut the feathers off. Now, we washed the chicken with some vinegar. So I didn't really have a lot of vinegar, so we're going to go ahead and get some lime juice. That works just as good. Squeeze that lime juice in there. Wash your chicken. Don't wash your chicken with hot water. Some of y'all don't know common sense. Don't wash it with hot water, y'all. And then after you wash it, you drain the water. You want to pat them as dry as you can. You're not going to get it completely dry because, they wet because you just they're wings. They're wet because you just wash them. Just dry them as much as you can. This is just so the seasoning can stick on them better. I find that the seasoning sticks on them better when you dry it a little bit, and they'll just use the wet wing. You feel me? So now we're gonna get into seasoning. I started with salt because I like to see the salt. I don't like to over salt. And you can over salt if you use salt. If you use any other seasoning before salt, I gotta see the salt. Okay, then you use some black pepper. I hate those little covers on the black pepper. You just gotta throw that off. Get you some black pepper in there, okay? Yeah, get some black pepper in there. After that, I got me some onion powder, just regular seasonings, use it gracefully, season to the gods, you feel me? I don't use measurements, use your eyes, let your ancestors guide you. If you white watching this video, let my ancestors guide you, you feel me? You just season it, make sure that you toss the chicken as you season some garlic powder. Make sure you toss the chicken as you season it so you can get some of the seasoning on every wing in there, boy, okay? Don't be skimping on any wings. We don't skimp on wings around here, okay? Then the last thing I use is a jerk seasoning because I want to see it. I want to eyeball how much, and it's a specific color. So last thing I use is a jerk seasoning. Now listen, jerk seasoning is spicy, especially to the American Caucasian. To the everyday Caucasian, this seasoning is definitely a little on the spicy side, so you want to be careful with it because this isn't the only jerk seasoning we're putting in there. We're also going to use a jerk marinade later on, so you got to know your audience. For me, I was cooking for, my little Caucasian friends, so I used just the right amount of seasoning. I didn't over season it because I didn't want the wings to be too hot. Okay? Kid you not, I brought the wings and they still said they were spicy as hell. But whatever, you can't please everybody. But yeah, toss them in that jerk seasoning. Toss them all together. And then we go skip to the wet seasoning. Do your dry seasoning first, okay? I know y'all see me doing this dry seasoning first. Do the dry seasoning first so it can attach to the skin and everything. And then we're going to get into the wet seasoning part of it, okay? So to start out my wet seasoning, I did honey first, a drizzle of honey because I want them to be a little sweet, and then, the honey helps everything just stick together. So I use a little drizzle of honey. You see how I did that? You see how a little finesse of honey, you don't want to do too much, okay? the finesse of honey, so the seasoning can stick to that skin real good, and you still got some sweet to that cake. Okay. Now you want to go ahead and add your wet seasoning. Now I did a little green seasoning. If you want to know what's in the green seasoning, let me know if I should make a video on my green seasonings. I kind of just make it and keep it in the fridge for when I'm cooking. So it's basically like scallion, garlic, thyme, ginger, sweet pepper, just a bunch of different seasonings. And I blended them up. And, you mix your wings into them, okay? Yeah, you see that? Looking juicy already. Yeah, I know you see that. Yeah. Alright, so after we done that, we're gonna go ahead and grab our jerk seasoning. I got jerk seasoning mild. Because as I said, you gotta know your audience, okay? If you cooking for some Caucasians, make sure you grab yourself a mild, not an extra spicy, If you cooking for some Jamaicans, you get a little extra spicy, You gotta know your audience, twin. Okay, so I got myself a jerk mild and I sprinkled some of that marinade in there with my wet seasoning, and I'm just rubbing the chicken in it. This is gonna be what helps you get that char. Okay, when the seasoning sticks on the skin and you put it in the oven, that's what's gonna help it get that char of like jerk chicken. It's just clumped up seasonings, you feel me? So yeah, that's what we doing. We just rubbing them in. Alright, now the secret to Caribbean cooking abroad is chicken bouillon. The seasonings that we have back home are not the same as the seasonings here. Like they just don't taste as good. I won't even kid to you, but the secret to cooking Jamaican abroad is definitely the chicken bouillon, and you want to get yourself some brown in. That's gonna make the difference in everything you cook here, okay? I had to learn that the hard way. If you don't get yourself some chicken bouillon, it will not taste the same, okay? I don't know if it's because of the MSG in the chicken bouillon, because MSG does like amplify your cooking a little bit, but like, yeah, whenever you making anything Jamaican, if it's not porridge or anything like a pastry sweet, you're gonna add yourself chicken bouillon. Okay? Yeah. Get yourself some of that. Keep it in your cupboard, okay? Now, the browning really just helps with the color. Jerk chicken has that like char black look that a lot of people are gonna think is burnt, but it's not burnt, girlfriend. That's the char, that's the color you want it to have, and the browning helps to give it that color, especially if you're cooking for a more Caucasian audience. You don't want to give too much jerk seasoning because, it's spicy on the jerk seasoning, on the jerk marinade, that's dark. So it's not going to get as dark as you want. So you got to add some browning, okay? Okay, cool. So now we just go put a little bonnet over her. Okay, put a little bonnet over her for best results. You want to do 24 hours, okay? 24 hours marinated in the fridge will give you the best results. People say that's OD. People think that's too much. A lot of people say you just need to season your chicken and leave it for 2 hours or an hour and it would taste the same as if you left it overnight. I don't know about all that, okay? I don't know about all that. I seasoned my chicken and I left it overnight and it was busting, okay? And that's what I'm going to advise you to do, because I'll never steer you wrong, and you know that. You know that. You know that. You know that about me, like, for real. So, do what you want, to each his own, but I left her in the fridge overnight, okay? Now, this is the next day. This is me taking her out. I'm grilling her up. So you're going to get yourself a little grill and a pan. If you're doing it in the oven, that's how you want to do it so you can get that char. Okay? So you put the grill in the pan just like that. And then you just layer your wings out just like that. Yeah. You layer your wings out so it can cook on the tray but then drip into the pan. Now, this marinade here from the wings, you want to keep that. Don't throw that away. Keep that. What I did was I stir it with some water before I put them in the oven. And then I added that water to the bottom of the pan so that the wings would like stay moist. That's going to keep the moisture in your wings. Because you have to cook them so long for the char, but you don't want them to get dry. I hate me a dry wing that like shrinks up and is dry. So you take a little of the marinade, some water, you mix it together, and you throw that in the bottom of the pan so that, there's some water at the bottom all the time while it's cooking. Okay? Just like that. Just like that, girl. Now, this is after like 40 minutes. So I had them in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes, and this is how they turned out. They're not finished. This is just the first go. You're going to make sure that you baste them. So if you got a little turkey baster, you're going to want to take that juice that I had put in there, and you're going to want to sprinkle it on top of your wings just like that so it keeps the moisture, and then you're going to flip it. If you don't have a turkey baster, that's okay. You're just going to lean the pan forward a little bit, get a spoon, and you're going to baste some of the juice on top before you flip it. You have to do that because that's how you keep the wings juicy, okay? And then you're going to flip them. So now I'm here and I'm flipping them one by one after basting them. You want to still keep that marinade, okay? I mixed up a little bit of it. So I took some of the marinade and I took like some sugar, and I mixed that together and I layered it on top. Because as you can see, the backside of the wings didn't have the seasoning, the clumped up seasoning that the other side had. So I just used some of the marinade, some sugar, and I basted it on top for the next go. So you're going to baste it on top after you flip it, and you're going to put it back in the oven to cook. Make sure you get every wing in there. Try and cover as much coverage as you can. This is after the flip, which I cooked it for 40 minutes on the next side again. And then took it out and it looked like this beautiful. It had this beautiful char. It was crispy skin. Bite into it, you can see the juice. Look at the juiciness of it. Yeah. Yeah, look at that char. Yeah. Look at that char. Yeah. You're welcome. Bye.